Was Adam's first companion in the Garden of Eden actually a woman named Lilith, not Eve? Why has her story been shrouded in mystery and often deliberately left out of traditional narratives? Today, we unveil the dark truth about Lilith. Most of us are familiar with the biblical story of Adam and Eve, the first man and woman living in paradise. But tucked away in ancient texts is a story not often told, that of Lilith, who predates Eve as Adam's first wife. Unlike Eve, Lilith was not made from Adam's rib, but was formed from the same soil as Adam, symbolizing absolute equality. This ancient narrative, emerging from the texts like the alphabet of Ben Sira, paints a drastically different picture from the Genesis account. Imagine a being created equally, standing side by side with Adam, not a step behind. Lilith represents a story of equality, independence, and conflict. Her creation from the same earth as Adam meant she was his equal in every way, which set the foundation for the disputes that would eventually lead to her departure. Lilith's refusal to conform to a subservient role sparked tensions in Eden. This wasn't just about daily chores. This was about the essence of their existence and roles as human beings. As tensions grew, so did Lilith's resolve. As Lilith and Adam began their lives together in the lush paradise of Eden, initial harmony gave way to growing tensions. Both were created from the earth, destined to be partners. Yet as they adapted to their surroundings, their interpretations of partnership began to diverge sharply. Lilith, embodying the spirit of the earth from which she was made, cherished her independence and sought equality in all aspects of life. She envisioned a relationship with Adam, where both would lead side by side, not one before the other. But Adam, shaped by the same earth but different expectations, saw his role as the primary leader, the first among equals. This traditional view, whether divinely inspired or a product of emerging human norms, clashed with Lilith's vision of equity. Their paradise was no longer just a place of beauty and peace, but a battleground of ideals. Each discussion, each attempt to define their roles, added layers to their conflict, building up to an inevitable breaking point. Imagine the scenes of these debates under Eden's ancient trees. Not just quarrels over daily chores, but profound disputes about the nature of existence and partnership. Lilith, with her fierce independence, and Adam, holding on to established norms, found no common ground. The discord between Lilith and Adam reached its zenith. Unable to reconcile their visions of equality and role, Lilith made a choice that would etch her name in the annals of myth and legend. Faced with the ultimatum to submit to Adam or leave Eden, Lilith chose freedom over subjugation. This wasn't just a mere departure. It was a profound act of defiance against an ordained hierarchy, challenging the very structure of their world. According to legends, Lilith uttered the ineffable name of God, a powerful act that granted her the wings to escape Eden. As she flew away, the impact of her defiance began to ripple through the celestial spheres. Her departure was not quiet nor subtle. It was marked by a cosmic upheaval. The once harmonious sounds of Eden were replaced by a tense silence, as both celestial and earthly beings watched in awe and fear. Lilith's exit from Eden marked her transformation, from Adam's equal to a symbol of rebellion and independence. Her story took a dark turn as she ventured into the unknown, gradually morphing into the figure of a night demon, as later texts would portray her. The reverberations of Lilith's departure were felt far beyond the boundaries of Eden. As she embraced her newfound freedom, the fabric of the divine order she left behind was irrevocably altered. Back in Eden, Adam was left to grapple with the aftermath of Lilith's exit. The absence of his equal partner not only created a void but also prompted a re-evaluation of his own role and the divine expectations placed upon him. Meanwhile, Lilith's assertive departure did not go unnoticed by the divine entities. Her act of uttering the ineffable name and escaping Eden was seen both as an act of profound rebellion and a troubling precedent for human autonomy. The immediate response was one of containment and caution. The divine entities, concerned about the implications of Lilith's actions, decided to obscure her story in the sacred texts, perhaps hoping to prevent her example from inspiring others. Lilith herself, now roaming the realms beyond Eden, began to transform in the eyes of those who told her tale. From a symbol of equality, she was recast as a figure of darkness and danger, a night demon associated with the perils of unchecked independence and power. Lilith's departure from Eden and subsequent demonization had long-term repercussions that rippled across history and culture. Her story, once a part of ancient oral traditions, became a cornerstone for discussions on the dynamics of power, gender, and rebellion. As centuries passed, Lilith's image as a night demon became entrenched in Jewish folklore. She was often depicted as a figure haunting the dreams of the newborn and the sleep of men, embodying the ancient fears and prejudices against women who defied societal norms. But the story of Lilith also found its way into the realms of feminist scholarship and modern reinterpretations. For many, Lilith became a symbol of resistance against patriarchal structures, championing the fight for equality and autonomy. In the arts, Lilith's transformation from a demonized outcast to a symbol of empowerment highlights her enduring appeal and the shifting perspectives on female autonomy and strength. Her legacy challenges the narratives written by those in power and offers an alternative view of the mythic past. Moreover, Lilith's tale prompts a deeper exploration of the stories we choose to remember and those we decide to suppress. Her resurgence in popularity poses critical questions about the voices and narratives that shape our understanding of history and morality. While Lilith's role as a night demon has been well documented in folklore, there is a growing body of counter-narratives that challenge this portrayal and seek to reclaim her story as one of empowerment and independence. These alternative interpretations suggest that Lilith's demonization was not merely an acknowledgement of her supposed evil, but a reflection of societal fears about women who challenge patriarchal authority. By labeling Lilith as a demon, the narrative served to warn others about the dangers of female autonomy and strength. In some modern feminist circles, Lilith has been transformed from a symbol of danger into one of defiance. She is seen not as a malevolent figure, but as a woman who refused to submit to societal norms, making her a predecessor to the modern feminist movement. Moreover, the counter-narratives extend into how we interpret the texts themselves. Some scholars argue that the traditional versions of these stories reflect the biases of those who wrote them, often men in positions of religious authority. This critical examination of Lilith's story invites us to question broader narratives in religious and mythological texts, and to consider who benefits from the suppression of such story. Lilith's enigmatic presence has transcended ancient texts to become a muse in the realms of arts and literature, inspiring a myriad of interpretations that reflect the evolving perceptions of her character over the centuries. In the visual arts, Lilith often appears as a figure shrouded in mystery and power. From the seductive portraits of the Renaissance that hinted at her supposed danger to modern feminist art that celebrates her defiance, each piece tells a story of cultural and temporal shifts in her perception. Literature, too, has been a fertile ground for exploring the layers of Lilith's persona. She appears in poems, novels, and plays, sometimes as a protagonist fighting against her demonization, other times as a complex antagonist whose motives are deeply intertwined with themes of freedom and identity. One notable example is her portrayal in modern fantasy literature, where she is often reclaimed as a powerful female figure who challenges the traditional boundaries set by earlier mythological interpretations. Furthermore, Lilith's influence extends into the realm of performance art. where her story is reenacted to critique societal norms about gender and power. These performances invite audiences to witness and reflect on the ongoing struggle for gender equality, mirrored in Lilith's eternal quest for autonomy. The figure of Lilith is rich with symbolic meanings that have evolved over the centuries. Each symbol associated with her reveals layers about her story and the cultural perceptions that framed it. One of the most enduring symbols of Lilith is the owl, an ancient emblem of wisdom, but also of solitude and secrecy. In many depictions, Lilith is shown with the features of an owl, linking her to the night and its hidden dangers, yet also to deep knowledge and foresight. The dark moon is another potent symbol often connected with Lilith. It represents the obscured, lesser-known aspects of femininity, those that defy the traditional nurturing roles imposed by patriarchal societies. Lilith under the dark moon becomes a symbol of the wild and untamed aspects of nature. Crossroads, too, are a recurring motif in stories about Lilith. They symbolize points of decision and change, reflecting Lilith's critical choice to leave Eden and forge her own path, a narrative of autonomy and self-determination. These symbols are not just artistic choices, they are interpretive tools that offer insights into how Lilith has been viewed and understood across different eras. They invite viewers to explore not just who Lilith was, but what she represents about the struggle for identity and autonomy. Lilith's story, while rooted in ancient myth, continues to thrive in contemporary popular culture, where her image is constantly reimagined and reintroduced to new generations. In television and film, Lilith often appears as a complex character who defies the traditional villain archetype. She is portrayed with depth, often struggling with her identity between historical demonization and modern emancipation. The music industry too has embraced Lilith, with numerous songs and albums exploring themes associated with her story. Artists use Lilith as a symbol of rebellion and empowerment, often challenging societal norms about female independence and strength. In the realm of literature and comics, Lilith continues to be a favorite subject, portrayed as a feminist icon or a supernatural heroine. Her story is adapted to explore themes of freedom, power, and the consequences of standing against an established order. Even in video games, Lilith has found a place as a character who represents both darkness and light, often embodying themes of transformation and self-discovery. Gamers navigate her storylines, which are filled with challenges that mirror her mythological journey. Lilith's story has sparked centuries of debate among scholars, theologians, and historians, each offering a unique perspective on her place in mythology and religious tradition. One of the most contentious discussions revolves around Lilith's origin. Was she a literal figure mentioned in lost or reinterpreted biblical texts? Or is she a construct designed to symbolize rebellion against divine and social hierarchies?